Have you ever felt the weight of someone watching you from a corner of a dark room? Or caught a fleeting glimpse of a shadow that shouldn't be there, just at the edge of your vision? You're not alone. Thousands of people around the world have reported terrifying experiences with what they call shadow people, dark, humanoid figures that seem to lurk in the shadows, watching, following, and sometimes making contact. This is not fiction. This is not folklore. These are real encounters from real people, and tonight, we're going deep into the chilling world of shadow people. Welcome to the Grim Tapes, where fear finds its voice. Sit back, but don't turn off the lights. Because after this video, you might never look at a dark corner the same way again. Origin of the shadow people phenomenon. Let's start with where it all began. While shadow people stories exploded online in the early 2000s, tales of shadowy beings date back centuries. Cultures across the world have shared stories of dark entities appearing during sleep, haunting corridors, or standing silently at the foot of a bed. In ancient Middle Eastern folklore, beings known as jinn, sometimes malevolent, sometimes neutral, are often described as dark silhouettes. In medieval Europe, shadowy figures were considered omens of death or misfortune. Fast forward to today, and reports are eerily consistent: tall, dark human-like forms, often wearing what appears to be a hat or cloak, with no discernible facial features. They seem to watch, to wait, and sometimes even chase. But are these just hallucinations, or is something more sinister at play? Common characteristics of shadow people. Descriptions vary slightly, but many elements are nearly universal. Completely black silhouettes, darker than darkness. No visible facial features. Human-like shape, often male. Sometimes wearing a wide-brimmed hat or trench coat. They appear in peripheral vision, then vanish. They often cause feelings of dread, paralysis, or deep fear. What makes these experiences especially strange is the emotional response they provoke. Witnesses often describe an overwhelming sense of terror, as though the presence was radiating malevolence. But no words are ever spoken. Real encounters from around the world. Let's dive into a series of terrifying real-life accounts shared by people around the globe. Case 1, the Hat Man. Sarah, a nurse from Ohio, reported seeing a tall figure wearing a hat and coat standing in her hallway at night. She assumed it was her husband, until she realized he was sleeping beside her. The figure slowly turned and walked into the wall. Case 2, Childhood Watcher. Chris, a man in his 30s, shared memories from his childhood of a black silhouette watching him from the closet. The figure never moved. But the moment Chris tried to scream or get up, he found himself paralyzed. The visit stopped in his teens, but the memories haunt him to this day. Case 3, Apartment Terror. A couple living in Los Angeles claimed they were followed by a shadow figure after using a Ouija board. They saw it peeking from behind doors and standing at the foot of their bed. It wasn't until they burned the board and moved apartments that the visit stopped. Sleep paralysis or something more? Many skeptics attribute shadow people sightings to sleep paralysis, a state where the body is unable to move during the transition between sleep and wakefulness. Hallucinations are common during this phase. But here's the chilling part: not all sightings happen during sleep. Many people have reported encountering these figures while wide awake, walking through their homes, driving, or even at work. So, is sleep paralysis enough to explain everything? Or are we brushing aside something we don't yet understand? Paranormal theories ***. Several theories attempt to explain who or what these beings are. 1. Interdimensional beings. Some believe shadow people are beings from another dimension, who somehow phase into our reality. Perhaps they exist just beyond the veil of our understanding, and every now and then, they slip through. 2. Demonic entities. Others suggest they are demonic spirits, feeding off fear, despair, or trauma. This theory often ties shadow people to poltergeist activity or possessions. 3. Astral travelers or time watchers. A more esoteric view is that shadow people are astral projections or even time travelers observing us. Maybe we are the ghosts to them, just as they are to us. 4. Government experiments and mass hallucination. There's even a fringe theory that government experiments, possibly involving microwave frequencies, could be inducing hallucinations in the population, leading to mass sightings. Scientific perspective. While the paranormal community is quick to believe, science remains skeptical. Neurologists link shadow people to hypnagogic hallucinations, sleep disorders, anxiety and trauma, overactive mirror neurons or hypervigilance in the brain. However, what puzzles researchers is the consistency of these sightings. Why are the same figures, like the Hat Man, seen by people of different cultures, backgrounds, and beliefs who have never spoken to each other? It raises the possibility that something deeper, some universal psychological archetype or shared trauma, is at play. Media and pop culture influence. Shadow people have become a staple in horror media. From movies to games to creepypasta stories online, these figures have captured the dark corners of our imagination. But here's the twist: many real-life encounters predate these portrayals. The media may amplify fear, but it didn't create the phenomenon. In fact, many experiencers report seeing shadow people long before they ever heard of them. This leads to one crucial question: are we imagining them, or are we being conditioned to remember what we already know? Can they harm us? Most encounters are passive. People see them, feel fear, and then they vanish. But some claim physical harm, scratches, bruises, or psychic attacks. These rare cases suggest that while shadow people might not be dangerous to most, there could be exceptions. Especially when tied to darker energies, cursed objects, or negative rituals. Are they watching? Or are they waiting for something? How to protect yourself. Those who've encountered shadow people recommend keeping your space spiritually clean, avoiding dark rituals, including unprotected Ouija sessions, surrounding yourself with positive energy, prayer, or meditative practices, using sage, salt, or crystals, for those who believe in spiritual tools. More importantly, don't feed the fear. It's said they thrive on it. Why do they exist? Shadow people might be projections of our deepest fears, entities from another realm, or fragments of reality bleeding into ours. Maybe we'll never know. But every testimony brings us closer to the truth, or to the edge of madness. Are we being hunted by beings we can't explain? Or are they just figments of our imagination? Only one thing is certain: the shadows are never truly empty. If you've ever seen something like this, something you can't explain, tell us in the comments. We want to hear your story. Was it a dream? Was it real? Or was it something else? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Grim Tapes, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what we uncover next. We dig deep into the dark, so you don't have to. But remember, the next time you feel like something's watching you from the corner of your room, it might not be your imagination. Stay safe, stay curious, and keep your lights on.